off, or what was your read on that?
I think from the start we were just a little timid, a little soft, honestly. We didn't have high pickup points. That's usually kind of how we gauge our intensity level, depending on our pickup point. So we looked back and saw that, and you can't give a really good team that much space and time to execute. So that's on us, making the little efforts early on from the start to kind of set the tone.
Either player. 3 losses to Minnesota this year. Every outing, it's been a larger margin of defeat. As you guys have gone along in playing Minnesota this season, have they become kind of like more difficult to kind of figure out as the season has gone along?
I mean, we just want to give them credit. They're a really good team. They pass the ball really well, and when a team is clicking and passing the ball really fast, it's kind of hard to keep up. And I think we were just reactionary from the start. I think it would have been a different story if we were dictating on defense and we were more physical. Basically, what they did to us, we needed to do to them. At the end of the day, we didn't do our jobs.
And back-to-back wins prior to today's outcome, rather. Has it been difficult, obviously, to gain traction this year? But the way that I kind of liken it is almost like trying to drive with like square tires. It seems like every time you guys kind of get something going, it seems like you guys are kind of brought to a screeching halt. Has that kind of been the feel in the locker room? Have you guys felt like we just haven't been able to get over that edge? What is the hang-up?
I think it's just part of the season that we're in. If you look around the league, it kind of feels like that's just a different season. I don't know, it's because I don't know, CBA coming up and just the shift of women's sports in general. But I think that's just totality of where we are. Obviously we want to get a rhythm. We're trying. It's not we're out there just trying to, be stuck in the mud. But the thing I always keep saying is that this locker room is so close. The confidence level for each player, day in and day out is there. And that's the beautiful part of it. It's like there's no drama. And you could have a season like this and it could be terrible in the locker room, be terrible with teammates, and it's not the case here. And so when you have that, you always have the sense of hope and encouragement because the locker room is strong on that.
And then the last one is just for you individually, Jewel. Obviously, Becky's kind of been open about your request to move to the bench. You come out today, obviously, kind of get going in that first quarter. You've kind of had, I think, two of the last 3 games. You've kind of had that quick start. What has moving to the bench allowed you to do? Has it allowed you to play more free? Has it allowed you to not think as much? What's been the difference?
I just want to help my team any way I can, whether I'm starting, coming off the bench, playing 2 minutes, playing 30 minutes, whatever that looks like. Like it's never about me. It's about the team. And so for me trying to get in there, I'm just trying to do what's right, play good basketball the best way we can, move the ball. I think there's a purity in playing the basketball like the right way. And so that's what I try to do when I come in. And it's been really fun. And I don't take this game for granted at all.
I just want to give Jewel a shout out because she works hard so like every single day, and she's extremely unselfish. Whether she goes in and goes in for a couple minutes or goes in for 40 minutes, she's always going to give her best. She doesn't care what's on the back of her jersey; she cares what's on the front. And at the end of the day, she's been going to work, and there's stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't see that she's there. She's there at like 6 a.m. getting shots up before practice. Like she's such a hard worker, and I'm just really thankful that she's our teammate.
For either player again, I was just wondering if you could talk us through maybe what the conversation was or like how you guys went through halftime, because the deficit was already pretty large at that point. Like, I guess maybe who was the most vocal? Was it like Becky, or what exactly did that look like?
Yeah, I think it was, everybody was just kind of putting in their thoughts, trying to figure out what we can do better. Honestly, it was just like, forget the score. We just have to focus on what's happening right now and possession by possession. Just the effort and trying hard no matter what happens, because we couldn't look at the score at that point. We just had to focus on what was in front of us, and that was the next 20 minutes. So it was just kind of like a team effort of giving thoughts.
And then last one for me, I feel like I've heard players on this team talk about like feeling embarrassed almost after losses like this one. How do you kind of channel an emotion like that into a game you guys have to play again tomorrow?
I mean, I would love to tell you this is the first time I've ever lost like that, but you lose a lot when you play a lot of games, and you win a lot too. So the feeling of both sides, and like you said, we're really blessed to have another game tomorrow. I think that's the testament to just our team and where we're at. How do we bounce back? How do we be focused? And like I said, it's not a great feeling to be to lose like this in this kind of way, but it can't change it, right? So all we have to do is go back into drawing board and proceed tomorrow.
For either one of you, a 50-plus point loss, it hurts. But how do you take this and go forward? You got to play again tomorrow, as we're saying. But, this isn't a normal loss. I mean, this is a really bad loss. And I know this has to affect you. How do you take this going forward and pick it up and go tomorrow?
Well, we just have to throw it in the trash, to be honest. Like we don't have time in this entire league. You see people losing to people they shouldn't be all the time. It's not like this is an anomaly right now. It's all across the league, and every single team is struggling with it. And so you just have to throw it in the trash and have a short-term memory, because we literally play in like less than 24 hours.
Lynx being the best team in the league, this was going to be a test.
F. Next question.
I've heard coaches say in the past that teams can be kind of too locked in on a certain part of the scout. Good team defense, good attention to detail on Fee in that first quarter. It seems like everybody else kind of got free. Is that kind of what you saw as well?
That's what happened, but that was not the game plan.
Oh, sorry. It looked like you were already kind of debriefing this loss on the bench with, I think it was Asia, Chelsea, Jackie. What does a conversation like that kind of look like? Not that to be in your business to get the details, but just like what is the general sense of a conversation like that?
I mean, you have to move on. We have another game tomorrow. We have to get the win tomorrow. Like at halftime, I kind of know we're not going to come back. So gave them a few minutes, but then you have to shift. However, the second unit, you go against their second unit, everybody has to have pride in what they're doing out there all the time. And we didn't 1 through 10, you know, we didn't.
The players were asked a similar question to this one, but like through 3 games against the Lynx, it's gotten worse each time. And I'm just wondering, what's your read on, I guess, why that is? Like,
Well, today we ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, they make 13 out of 14. You're not doing that as a group very often, even if you're just warming up. However, we started the oven for them. I mean, they were on a heater and we lit the gas up by being out of position. We're beat in the first action and it's just catch up. And anytime we put 2 on the ball, which, you know, our post defense, our white to pay, it was awful today. And it's not about, okay, yeah, they were ready. Everybody in the league knows we do it. Like, it's not a hard scheme to figure out. However, we did it. So we did everything at a grade F today. There's just the defense doesn't matter.
All right, we'll go to Cassie on Zoom. Cassie.
Hey, Coach. Cassie with Women's Basketball 365. Earlier in the season, I believe we saw zone coverage a couple times, though I could be mistaken. How do you feel your team performs in a zone, and what adjustments are you considering to address the defensive lapses that we've been having?
Well, a good zone has good man principles, and our man principles were terrible today. So as much as I'd like to put in some junk, zone, this, that, the other thing is you can't play a zone against that team because they can stretch you out to where there's no chance when you have all 5 players that can shoot threes very efficiently. Not only that, the times that we have run zone, I haven't liked it. And even though I'd like to put some other things in, you can't put things in if you can't get the basics right. And we haven't been able to get the basics right in some of these games. Now we made a little bit of progress, you know, the last, 5 to 7 games that, but it's like asking a baby to walk before they crawl. You have to be good and fundamental and have the basics so nailed down that it comes so natural to you. Your first habit, your first instinct is solid basketball. And we weren't.
All right, thank you, Coach.